In the NFC East, I have the Dallas Cowboys winning the division by winning 13 games. I can talk. Um, my reasoning line, you guys have heard me talk about the Cowboys a lot. I'm probably a little bit higher on them than most people are. Everyone's kind of expecting them to fall back down to earth. Excuse me. I think it's the exact opposite. I think you're going to see that division fall back down to earth between Eli Manning, who I just don't trust, Kirk Cousins, who I don't trust, and the Eagles. I really like Carson Wentz, but I don't think Carson Wentz is there yet. He showed flashes, but he showed typical college flashes, which is strong start, faltering off towards the end. Dak, to me, is the most consistent quarterback in that division, the best offensive line in that division, what I think will be the best offense in total in that division, along with, I think, more playmakers and an improved defense. I think they stay right there at 13 wins, along with the drop-off of the rest of their division. In the NFC West, I have the Seahawks with 12 wins. This is my smoke and mirrors team of the NFC. I think the Seahawks are still good. I no longer think they are great, but I think the rest of that division is some hot garbage, and I think they will capitalize and win 5 or possibly all 6 division games and then go pretty much 500 against the rest of the league, which will make their record look more impressive. But I think they are the same way I talked about Pittsburgh in the AFC. Seattle is my one and done in the NFC. Like I said, this is their last year of being good. I think after this, it's going to be a hard spike down. And if you are a Seahawks fan, embrace for the fall. In the NFC South, I have Carolina with 11 wins. I have the Falcons taking a step back. I have with the Falcons, why I think they're taking a step back is whenever you have one of those great all-time offensive seasons, it almost is always followed by a being kind of knocked off your pedestal simply because you can't run the same 40, 50 big plays that you ran the prior year on those teams again the following year. Teams watch tape, they catch on to you, and your offense will take a dip. And if you look at Atlanta outside of having a record-setting offense, if they had come back to even just being a great offense, you're knocking off 2 or 3 wins from them. I have Cam having a huge bounce back year. Maybe not quite to where his MVP year was, but it's going to be much higher than what last year was and a little bit down from the MVP year. I also have that defense returning to being a top 5 defense. Luke Kuechly playing all 16 games makes a huge difference. He is my most impactful defensive player in the game of football, simply because of how much he does from that middle linebacker position, just the defense of the quarterback perspective. And he is huge. You see that defense when he plays and when he doesn't play, it is a huge disparity. And that's even with guys on that defense like a Coney Ely, like a Thomas Davis. You've got other playmakers, Star Latuale. So Kuechly's impact cannot be taken lightly. And him being there for full 16 games make a world of difference, even with a less than stellar secondary. NFC North, I have the Packers with 12 wins. I don't have much to say about the Packers outside of it's Aaron Rodgers. He is the best player in that division. He's the best quarterback in that division. He might be, in terms of simply playing the position, he might be one of the 4 or 5 greatest quarterbacks to ever play. He's that good. He can make up for that many mistakes. I think he'll come out. I think he'll start the season kind of with his hair on fire. He won't let them get behind the same way they have the last 2 or 3 years. And even if they end up coasting into the playoffs, I think they get off to an extremely strong 7-2, 8-2 kind of start, and then can falter towards the end to get into the playoffs with 12 wins, winning their division. 5th seed is the Minnesota Vikings. I think they're the most complete roster in the NFC North. Obviously, where they lack against the Packers in the NFC North is Sam Bradford against Aaron Rodgers. Sam Bradford's becoming that guy, like, even though if you look at his stats, like, he just set the NFL record for completion percentage last year, and nobody took it seriously. He's that guy who can do really well, and you still will just never trust him. Like, you ever had an employee who, like, he might show up every day, he might even come in early, he might sell, if you're in a sales department, he might sell the quota and even then some, and you still just cannot trust him without looking at him. Like, if your eye's not on him at all times, you just think, oh my gosh, he's messing something up. And that's what Sam Bradford's becoming. With my The Vikings do have a top 5 defense in the NFC, though, which will make up for what might happen with Sam Bradford, and it kind of gives you that management position of making sure you keep an eye on him, so that defense will help keep that team intact. And like I said, their roster is good enough to be in the playoffs, and if they had a quarterback, if they still had Teddy Bridgewater, the Vikings would be one of my Super Bowl teams. I think that highly of their entire roster, and I thought that highly of Teddy Bridgewater pre-injury. No guaranteeing how he'll be coming back. In the 6th seed, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I really struggled with this one. I had between the Buccaneers, the Giants, and the Lions. The reason I went with the Buccaneers is Eli Manning leads the league in interceptions 1 out of every 3 years, and he hasn't done it the last 2 years, so trends say don't trust Eli. It's going to be one of those years. Stafford, who I think is better than Jameis Winston, I think has less talent around him. And he had his miracle season last year, having 8 come-from-behind wins or 8 wins within 1 possession. I don't think he can do that again. As great of a player as I think he is, he doesn't have enough talent around him. So when you get a guy like Jameis Winston, who I think has more talent, has more offensive weapons for sure, and he's in that same boat in terms of inconsistency, but I think it's his revolving door, and it's his turn. He had his 20 interception season. He's had his rookie season. I think he's ready to have that breakout season this year. Do I consider them playoff perennials for the next few years? No, because I think he's just like Eli Manning and Matthew Stafford, where you're going to get the ups and you're going to get the downs. But this year, I have Jameis Winston on an up, giving the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the 6th seed in the playoffs. I did want to mention, though, I think the NFC as a whole, is much weaker than the AFC, whereas I think the AFC, excluding the AFC East, which holds the best team in the Patriots, has 3 less than stellar teams. But as a whole, the AFC has more competitive teams. They have more great teams. It's not quite the disparity that the NBA has with the Western and Eastern Conference, but it's getting up there. And to me, some of these teams in the NFC will be able to run up bigger win counts because they're just playing less than stellar teams. So you're going to see, it's why I have the Vikings, or it's why I have the Packers winning 12 games. I have the Cowboys winning 13 games. I got the Panthers 11 and the Seahawks 12. I think they're going to be able to rack up a bunch of wins against less than stellar competition. So their records will look better, but they are also inflated. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes. Also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. If you'd like to see more videos, click right here on my chest. And I will see you guys next time.